So about 3 years ago, I made a video that way too many people decided to watch, where I installed Yosemite with a program called Mac Post Factor, and essentially it really didn't work that well. The biggest problem, of course, being graphics support, which in that was just absolutely non-existent, and also, as far as I know, Mac Post Factor doesn't even work anymore. So today we're going to be having a look at a different method which should provide an infinitely better user experience, one that I might even consider usable. In fact, let me show you. So as we can see here, it is running El Capitan. So now you will notice a huge difference as soon as I grab this window, what makes this install different from the one that I did running Yosemite a couple of years ago. Now, look at that. There is no screen glitching. I can move this around, I can use stuff on the menu, and it runs okay. I mean, okay, so this time I did actually do it on my mechanical hard drive. So that means this is actually slow. Like, seriously, this is slow. And, okay, so, you know, here it is working, right? As we can see, instead of saying graphics 7 megabyte, it actually has the correct graphics card there, which is Intel GMA 950. Now, this is important. If you're watching this video and you want to try it on, like, an AMD or ATI one, that using a dedicated graphics processor, I have no idea how that works, or if it works, because I only have this one, and it uses the integrated GMA 950 graphics. I'm pretty sure this one came out of a law office, because they didn't decide to clear off their voicemails when I bought it. I listened to one, and I was like, oh, huh, nice! And then I formatted it. So yeah, that was fun. So as we can see, this is the proper serial number, this is the proper everything in here. And again, this actually has proper graphics kexts. As you can see, it doesn't have proper acceleration, which is why you might notice stuff like File Viewer or Finder. The actual transparency effects aren't there. It's more apparent on Calculator, because I think these are all Metal accelerated, or OpenGL accelerated. I'm not sure how that works. But I know the fact that this doesn't work right is because of something to do with Metal. So as we can see there, when I move this and drag it around, that the transparency on the back, this gray, doesn't change. But on El Capitan, on actually supported graphics cards, there is a transparency effect on this, there's a transparency effect on the dock. But that doesn't matter. This works. Like, you can actually unironically do things with this, which is what makes it so different. If you have a program which you need to run on El Capitan, and you have this iMac, and this is it, this is all you have, you can do it. You can do it. It'll work. And a good example, actually. So let's say you have, like, something like this. An iPhone 5S on iOS 12.4, I think. But anyway, it runs iOS 12. And as we can see there, iOS 12. And let's say you want to sync it, right? Now, why exactly you couldn't do this on a Windows computer, I'm just showing you an example of something that you can do. I know you can sync it on Windows, but yeah. So, okay, let's plug it in here, right? Plug the lightning cable into here. Set it down. Continue. And now it should show up on the screen, so I can just trust it. And come on. There we go. So now, the iPhone 5S is now connected to the iMac running El Capitan. In fact, I can go over here to iTunes, and there it is. And I can access it. Nice. So that means that you can use devices which you wouldn't normally be able to use on 10.7.5, which is what this thing runs as a maximum. So yeah, you can do that. And there's other things you can do, like for instance, so now I'm sure you're wondering, well, how exactly did I do that? And well, it's actually really not that hard. I mean, it's a little bit less user-friendly than Mac Post Factor was, but unlike Mac Post Factor, this will work forever. It doesn't matter if it's like Fallout 4 outside and you go out and you find an iMac around the rubble of what's left of society. If you pick that thing up and you put this stuff on it, it'll work just fine. So essentially what you need to make this work is a copy of OS Patcher, which is OS X Patcher, actually. As far as I know, this patcher has actually been wiped off the face of the earth, except for the copy that I have and the one that I've uploaded to GitHub, which you can download from a link in the description. So that's cool. And another thing you're going to need is a copy of El Capitan, which also appears to have been lost to the sands of time, but entirely unrelated to what we're about to do. I did recently upload OS X El Capitan, the original installer app, which is what we'll need for this, up to the Internet Archive, which legally I can't condone its use for a purpose like this, and it is there only for installation on a Mac that supports it. But what I'm saying is if you did happen to get a hold of that installer app, it would work for this. Though I, of course, don't condone that usage. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Anyways, so luckily I already have these things already extracted, so we don't need them over here. You can just put it over there. Oh, it actually keeps you from trapping them? Ah, okay, I didn't notice that. This is actually kind of cool. First, we're going to need a copy of OS X Patcher. Here it is extracted. Now, essentially what this is going to do is it's going to do what Mac Post Factor did, just maybe a little bit less cleanly. And by that, I mean you're actually going to need one of these things, which, of course, you know, is a USB thumb drive. Seamless, absolutely seamless. Okay, like half an hour to find this thing. So, yeah. So now what we need to do is format it. So, you know, the thing is, people always talk about how Macs are always cut off on how much software they can support, because, you know, Apple deems the fact that it just can't run it. You know, there is always that thought, and sometimes it is right, but there's just sometimes where I'm thinking, okay, maybe there is a very valid reason why this isn't meant to run. And this is one of them. This is Snow Leopard. This is officially... No, this isn't Snow Leopard. This is, Lion? Yeah, Lion 10.7, which should be officially supported, and it is. That's why it's on here. So, you know, you were there, you upgraded, and then you get performance sets like this. Yeah, that's not good. So, okay, now that I've showed you that, what we need is disk utility, which was actually in there. So now, over here, we're going to find the thumb drive, like this one. Going to partition, and now that this will erase... What's up with the keyboard? Okay, so we're going to go for one partition, and this will erase all data on the thumb drive, just so you know. So just go ahead and make sure there's nothing on here which you need, which none of this I need. So there you go. So just go one partition, macOS extended journaled, name doesn't really matter, I'll name it. So that'll work. Oh, enter is stuck down. I hate this keyboard so much. Okay, so now that we can see, chat exFAT will be erased, and that'll essentially erase all data that was on that thumb drive. Nobody can get it back. I mean, technically you can, but it's not easy. So now we can get OS X Patcher going. So now we need terminal, which I have it in my taskbar, but I have it in my dock, which you can yourself open it by going to the same utilities folder and finding terminal, which is where you'll find all this other fun stuff too, like activity monitor, which is cool. So now we're going to type sudo space and then open OS X Patcher, take the patcher.sh and then drag it onto the window. Now this will put in the full path to the actual patcher.sh shell script. So you don't have to type in the directory manually, which is handy. So now, So now with terminal open, we're going to cd into the directory. So we can just drag and drop the OS X Patcher master directory in there. This will contain the shell script, so if we ls, we can see patcher.sh with a capital P. So now we need to do sudo, or superuser do. This will give us permission to modify device file structures, which is very important if you want to, let's say, make an installer disk, which is what we're going to be doing. So now we need to sudo /patcher .sh. Put in the password, which in my case is 4 definitely random numbers. And now we will get this, which now I just need to tell it what exactly we want to do. So we're going to go patch installer. What installer would you like to use? Input installer path. Now, this is actually also handy. So instead of typing in the whole directory for the OS X Capitan installer, we can just take it, because it itself is a directory, and just drag it on top. So this gives us all of our location data there, and we don't even have to type it in, which is handy. So now it'll check the disk image, and now we need to select a target drive. Now this is for the installer, not where we want the actual copy of El Capitan to be installed. So we're just going to select the target that we made earlier, which is 3. This is the thumb drive. And make sure it's 3, target, that's definitely it. Now it's going to begin restoring. And normally I would just let this go, but I kind of already did it, and I don't want to wait the 45 minutes this takes over USB 2 to actually complete. So let's get into the installer part. So note from me in the future, I kind of forgot that if you want to do this and erase your entire main hard disk, transferring the OS X Patcher resources folder, or what I'm going to do is just copy the whole OS X Patcher master folder to the root of Targeto, which is the name of my thumb drive. So I'm just going to put this in here, and yeah, so I'm going to do that, and it's gonna go. But this is just so you can run it from the installer later with the entire internal drive wiped. So that's why I'm doing that. And just Control-C this. I thought that would work, it didn't. Okay, there we go. So what we need to do now is make sure that the thumb drive with the installer is inserted into the computer. Like, since mine was a different thumb drive, I just unplugged this one and plugged that one in. And now we need to shut the computer down, which, like that. And it's off. Nice. Now this is where the fun starts. So now we need to turn on the computer, hold Alt, or the Option key, and now we need to select the USB drive Targeto. Even though this one had a different name, it'll have the name there. This one is just named differently because they're different disks. So I can just click on it and then click the arrow, and we will now start booting into the OS X El Capitan installer, which has been patched with 32-bit EFI files and other such goodies, so it'll actually run. Now after waiting for the bar to complete, you should be greeted by this, which is the OS X El Capitan installer. So now we just need to prepare the installation target. So the internal drive on the computer you're looking to install El Capitan on, which in my case is 2. So this one already has an El Capitan on it, but just for the sake of doing it, I'm going to erase it. So we're going to give it the name, let's go with that. And now that it's formatted, we are ready to continue. So now with that done, we can come over to terminal. So because of some weird DRM shenanigans, we're actually going to need to trick the computer into thinking it's later in time, or actually earlier in time, which can be done actually quite simply. So date, I'm not sure how far back it goes, but one I found is the epoch 0115124517. Now this should give us a date of, yep, January 2017. So this should work. So now I've just come over here to terminal, then quit, and now we can continue with the installation. Just to continue to that, yes, I read it. Now we need to select our target volume, so that one. Customize won't give up its usual options, it'll just be that. Now we need to click continue. And now it's going to take like 17 minutes to complete, and if you want something to look at while it goes, you can open up the log and then switch it over to all logs. And now you can see just exactly what the installer is doing, which is kind of cool, yeah? So if you happen to do what I just did and actually let the installer complete, you might notice that the computer doesn't actually boot. Like if I turn it back on, if I hold Alt, And I select our boot volume. It does nothing, yeah. So that's the wrong loading bar, obviously. So we're actually booting right back up to another one of the installs on this hard drive. So we're gonna have to boot back into the installer, but luckily this isn't that big of a deal, really. Where's the power button? Now that we're back in the installer, you go over here to Utilities and open Terminal. Give it a minute. Now what we need to do is run the Patcher utility, which should be located CD into OS 10. Now what we can do here is use a wildcard, so then we can essentially, we don't have to type in the whole directory name. Now we can see that there's patcher.sh, but what we're going to be doing is CD into res, wildcard ls, and now there is something called patch.sh. So now we're going to do /patch.sh, and now we're going to be using the detected model, which for most people will work, because we're actually doing it on the machine that this is planning to be run on. Do 1. Now the target will be the place which we just installed to, which in my case is number 3, which is the name of the volume that we did before. Now it will begin patching the kexts, patching the boot.efi, and adding various other things which will need to be used in order to actually run Capitan on the 2006 iMac. And there we have it. It is all done. So now all we got to do is restart it. Okay. So that would be reboot. And there we go. Nice. Now we can hopefully boot right in. And just wait for this to finish. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why you do not install this on a hard drive. Hey, there we go. It works. There we go. There's the welcome screen. Yes, I'm in the United States. Yes, my keyboard is normal. Not right now. And there we go. It works. See, I told you it wasn't that hard. I mean, okay, it was a little bit hard, actually. Yeah. About this Mac. All the hey, we got part of it. Hey, nice. iMac 17-inch late 2006 CD, 2.0 gigahertz. Now you might be wondering, why would you even want to do this? And well, I did give the argument originally in the video that you could use this like as a computer to run macOS applications for El Capitan and lower. And well, that is a really good use case, but I would only recommend this method if you already have one of these iMacs. If you are looking to get a Mac, and you saw this video because you're looking to get one like this, it's okay, it's alright, it's okay, I'll put you there. If you're looking to get one of these Macs, don't. This works, but it is a horrible, horrible value choice. Like, seriously. It runs, and okay, you know, it runs, it looks good, but as soon as I do anything that requires any sort of actual performance, any sort of actual taxing on the drive, it takes. Okay, there we go. So as you can see, it works. That's it. It doesn't work good. So if you are looking for a computer to just run macOS applications, I have a video in the works about that. I've actually been working on it on the side of making this one. In fact, the project is right over there. In fact, you can get that for like 20 bucks more than this, and the experience will be vastly, vastly superior. And you can run up to Catalina. So, yeah, just subscribe or stay tuned for that, and don't buy this thing. Unless you're going to buy it as a collector's item, which is the reason why I kind of did. If you're buying this for a collector's item, you know what this is, you know its limitations. I'm not saying don't buy it if you want it as a collector's item. I'm saying if you want to actually unironically use this thing, do not buy this. So, yeah, I guess that's pretty much all I have to say. So, thank you so very much for watching. I hope this video helped you out, and I'll see you chaps in the next one. Bye!
Brand new.